a few observations I made is number one, law firms that don't adopt and adapt to AI might not last. Welcome back, everyone. Craig and Leah here today. How are you today, Leah?
I'm good. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing great.
So where'd you just come from?
So I was in Charleston, South Carolina for, I guess, 4 days. It was a 2-day conference. So yeah, I was down there last week for a conference on AI. It was mind blowing. It was really, really great conference. I'm still processing it, but I flew out of La Crosse. It's been a while since I've flown out of La Crosse. For those in La Crosse area, I think there's only the one flight that goes back and forth to Chicago. We used to have one that also went to Minneapolis back and forth, a Delta, and we haven't had that for a while. And I have had enough bad experiences trying to fly through Chicago that I generally avoid it. And it tends to be quite a bit more expensive, and the flight options aren't always great in La Crosse. But it kind of lined up, and then I bought my tickets, and then of course the government shutdown happened, and I was like, this is going to be the first one cut, right? Yep. So Charleston is about 18 hours driving, apparently. So I was debating on whether I was going to drive to this thing if I couldn't fly, but all the flights went good. Went down there, got back. I took a bunch of video, made some really cool videos for my other YouTube channel. So yeah, so we learned a lot about AI last week.
I wanted to ask, what kind of conference was this? Was it sessions? Was it breakout rooms? Was it speakers? Were you one of the speakers? Because you know a lot about AI and the law.
I was not one of the speakers. So it was a collection of lawyers. The organization is called Best Era, and it is a former trial attorney. I actually went to his conference a few years ago. They got a $100 million verdict out in Connecticut, and he left that firm, and now he does consulting for lawyers primarily, and especially smaller practices, solo small firms. So he started this, and I've been in that group, and they did some work for me in the past, and then I'm in a Slack group, which is great, and held this conference. So it was unlike most conferences I've been to get there, and it was like 30 to 45 minute speaking sessions, so kind of short.
Okay.
Lots of breaks in between, which I appreciate as an older guy. But it was so you would have a session, and then that person would then go back, and they have breakout rooms. That if you wanted to try and test out some things, you could do that. I was there mostly to listen to all the speakers, so I sat through all the speakers and took a lot of notes. And there was vendors there, of course. That's how these things work, is you have vendors there. So I was talking to them and got some ideas. So yeah.
So I wanted to ask if there was anything that you learned that will change how you use AI in the future in your legal practice, or if there was anything that you noticed about the way you use AI that you want to not use it for anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question. So one of the things that I have struggled with, because AI has come on the market and there's so many, and it's changed so much, is it's really easy to want to like do a little bit here and do a little bit there, because not all AI programs are the same. Different ones do different things better than others. And what I learned having been there is it's best, if at all possible, to have all of your stuff within one system, so that the AI program, the LLM, the large language model, I think that's what it's called, has access to all the information. So that was a good reminder to me. So we use like most firms, we use a cloud-based program that manages all our client files, documents, billing, things like that.
A closed system like we talked about last week.
It's called Smokeball. It's all confidential, whatever, but it has an AI program built into it that is, I would say, quite a bit behind certain things like ChatGPT and Perplexity and things like that. And so it has kind of lingered behind a little bit, I think, in some of the stuff that the other ones can do. And I had this temptation to go out and try to use the one that was the best at the time. But coming back, I realized that I need to like try to maximize what we can use, our existing AI and other automations within our system, and then only then reach out and use some of these other ones as needed, just because the more information that your AI program has access to, the better it will do. And the other thing that I realized, and I've been doing a pretty good job of this already, is getting as much information in your system as you can. So I record pretty much all phone calls, meetings, things like that. So one of the things that I use, this is a Plaud note pin.
Plaud, not applaud.
No, Plaud, Plaud.
Save your applause.
Yeah. So what this thing will do, and they actually use this very same device to record all of the speakers.
No way.
Yeah. So it will record it and it will transcribe it and make notes. So I use this to record almost all of my meetings. I wish I could use this to record court. That would be great. But you can use that and then it will create a transcript of your calls. So like when I have calls with clients or meetings with clients, I use that and put it into the system. And that way it can gather that. It might remember something your client says about where they treated or what happened at the accident, things like that. So it's a matter of trying to get as much stuff out of lawyers' heads and out of, let's say, our staff, paralegal, legal assistants' heads, and get it into the system somehow through a memo, a recorded call, and that just enhances the ability of AI to kind of go through and give you really good answers to questions, much faster, more accurate. We're trying to get as accurate as we can. So yeah, so that's kind of what I came back with is I need to like take full advantage of the program that we have, and then as needed, kind of augment that with other types of AI.
Is the Plod, that device, does that come with its own artificial intelligence, generative AI system, or can you just get what you need in the transcribed notes and everything from an app or something?
Yeah. So the way this works is you record on this, and then it connects to my phone, for example, and then it will automatically generate a transcript, and it has an AI. I mean, the transcription itself is AI. There's not people transcribing it. But then it has AI if you want it to, if you ask it, would you please draft a letter summarizing this conversation, it could do that for you. So the way I have it set up is, I record it, like I do have to open the app on my phone so it'll transfer, and then my legal assistant gets a notification, and then she takes it from there. So that's amazing. I mean, it really saves a lot of time. And what I really like about this is it allows me to listen more attentively without taking a bunch of notes that I probably can't read anyway later on. So that has been, and so what they did at the conference is they recorded every single one of the sessions, uploaded it, and then gave us all access to it so that if we can go in and say, here's my problem, pull out the parts of the conference or the speeches that might help me solve this. So it's incredible. Yeah, it's great.
That's amazing. So I wanted to ask also is what kind of other takeaways did you have other than maybe a transition to focusing more on our AI system?
Well, so when I told one of my staff people, I won't say who it was, that I was leaving, this person was not happy that I was going to a conference on AI because there is a suspicion that AI is going to take jobs and that I'm going to use AI to eliminate my staff, which I don't see that happening. But a few observations I made is, number one, law firms that don't adopt and adapt to AI might not last. So I saw this as something that I needed to do to make sure that our firm continues to operate, that both myself and my staff continue to have careers if we want it in this field. So that was one thing. So there was, like I said, there is a skepticism and a hesitation depending on who's asking. Not everyone is excited about AI. The other thing I will say that I really noticed is that AI is going to eliminate certain types of jobs, primarily those that are like reviewing documents. If you traditionally you had big files, you might have thousands of pages of documents, and you would have to have a paralegal or maybe attorney go through that and digest it. Those kinds of jobs are not going to last, and because AI can do it so much quicker, faster, and more accurate.
Right. That's what you've said in the past. Those document processing.
It is great at document processing. It is not good at judgment. So the lawyers are still going to have to do the judging, making the judgment calls, strategy, and things like that. The other thing I would say is that what needs to happen with the use of AI is, as it frees up us from doing things that used to take a lot of time, we need to focus more and more on that human-to-human connection, that human part of it. That, at least from what I could tell, a robot is not going to be able to replace. They're pretty amazing, but there's still that human-to-human connection. And the easiest example is I could have just gone and done this conference by Zoom. I didn't need to travel down there.
Yeah,
I could have listened in, and I probably would have got a lot out of it. But there's something about being in person with other people, other like-minded people, that I don't think is ever going to go away. And I think we actually crave that more and more in an AI intensive world. And so I think what it's going to mean is lawyers and staff are going to need to step in and provide more one-on-one interaction, whether it's phone, in person, whatever, with our clients, with witnesses and things like that. And that's why I think AI as a whole is going to help. It's going to improve the client experience. It's going to make the work that we do faster and should make it cheaper. The attorneys that I think are most at risk are those that are transactional attorneys, staff that do document review, contract drafting, estate planning. Those are things that I think AI is already presenting a threat to, and I think they are going to have to adapt their model a little bit. Otherwise, they could be in trouble. I think we've already seen a little bit of that with LegalZoom. LegalZoom's been around for a while, preparing wills and contracts and stuff for people. But AI is just taking that to a whole new level. Those of us that work on contingency and flat fee, AI is going to help the most because it's going to make us faster and should hopefully drive down prices overall. I think, like I was thinking, it might cause everyone to reevaluate what's a standard contingency fee on an injury case. Maybe it's not a third anymore. Maybe it's less. For those of us that the quicker we can do something, the more financially viable it is for us, as opposed to those that do work on an hourly basis. AI is going to help me much more than the people that are more of a traditional hourly.
So you were talking about choosing to go in person to this conference rather than online or through Zoom. Did you make any connections with any new people, obviously lawyers who are there? Anyone, any contemporary that's doing the same as you or even better than you using AI in the legal sphere?
Most of those people are using AI better than I am. I'm probably using video more than them. One thing I had to laugh, a lot of these people that I met there, I knew virtually. Like I knew through LinkedIn, I knew through Zoom calls. A few of them I knew in person from other conferences, but most of these people are people I knew virtually, but not in person. So it was really nice to put
a digital face to a name
to talk to people. But I had one guy said, "I recognize you," and I know we had never met. So I wore what I wear in these videos is exactly what I wore there. I was the only guy there with a hat on, camo hat, and that's kind of my brand, right? And so that may have been how he recognized me. So yeah, it was fun to get to know some people in person. I made, there was a few vendors there was an engineer there that makes like custom chat agents, I think is the right word. I'm trying to think what the movie is. What's the movie with it's a big white robot, health robot. It's an animated movie. I can't think of the name of it now.
Hero? Is it called Hero 3 or whatever?
I'm not sure what it's called. My kids watch it.
Yeah, the big one. Yeah.
The big white fluffy guy.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I imagine chat agents that you can create your own and do things like medical summaries or medical bill summaries or things like that. So I may purchase or build some of those to do things for me.
So it's a chat bot that's made exactly for one purpose?
Correct. Yeah, it's designed to do one thing and do it really well. And then you can actually have teams of them. And they actually like interact with each other. Like there's a little dystopian part of that.
But they're not physically real. Like they
so
exist
far,
digitally.
So far.
So we don't have to be worried yet.
Yeah. But so that I think is because I want to say this. It can be challenging to find the right AI program for you because they usually come as a big package. You have to like add this whole new software on, and it oftentimes is way more than you need, costs more than you need, and then it can be difficult to get staff and people that work for you on your team to buy into that. Whereas this is more of a kind of a unique thing that might be my personal AI assistant, for example, that does certain things for me. Maybe it's monitoring my email. So,
medical summary bot. And then, I see.
Maybe I'll have a trial assistant who comes to trial with me and is able to, help me with jury selection and voir dire. I don't know. So
on the laptop.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited about that. I think there's a lot of possibilities there. Like I said, I should improve the quality of the legal services that we do it more quickly and do it more affordably. The other thing I would say is there are, even when it comes to like interacting with clients or potential clients, quote unquote, virtual receptionist, I've already been using one. So anyone that calls my Google Voice number, especially after hours, you will get my AI receptionist, and it's really good. Like
Has she been working out?
Yep. I had a couple this weekend. They never get sick. They never have a bad day. They understand multiple languages, and I think in one of the things that one of the talks there was about how many mistakes get made by humans on calls, not recognizing that this is a case that my firm wants, or not being sufficiently empathic, sensitive, and things like that.
And the AI receptionist can do that?
Does better. Yeah.
Now that's scary.
It is kind of scary, but but that's often been a pain point for firms and attorneys that do a lot of advertising, because you need to be very responsive to people. You need to be quick. You need to get that information, and it can be very difficult and expensive to have people around the clock that are good. A lot of times you may delegate it to overseas virtual assistants and things like that, which is cheaper, but you get into language barriers and things like that, and it's not a great solution. So the AI, I think the AI is going to have tremendous potential for smaller firms. I think it may actually, we've seen this development of niching down to practices, and in some ways I'm doing that myself. The general practice lawyer law firm is sort of going away, but I almost see this as providing an opportunity for a rekindling of the general practice, because with the assistance of the right AI, you can be pretty competent and remain competent in multiple areas of law, because a lot of it you don't have to be good yourself. You just need systems in place. So I think that provides some real potential there. The other thing is, I think the big firms, big law firms are spending a lot of money on AI right now. That's a concern to us smaller lawyers and firms. But in many ways, smaller firms are in a much better position to implement AI and take advantage of it, because we're just more nimble, right? Yeah. I think this has the potential to really expand lawyers in small and rural towns. A lot of people probably don't know this, but like in northern Wisconsin, there's a crisis. There's a lawyer crisis because there's just not enough lawyers around to do basic stuff when people need family law attorneys, wills, criminal defense, stuff like that. There just aren't lawyers up there. I think AI is going to make it more possible for people who want to kind of have that maybe a slower pace in life and have that small town lawyer feel, but still be able to be good at because the problem with being a small town lawyer is you have to do a lot of different things. It's really hard to niche down, because there may only be so many people that come in with a particular problem. So I think it allows you to handle more things, be competent, and to be able to make a living in a small town. So I think this could be a great step towards improving access to lawyers and legal representation in rural and, let's say, low income areas that traditionally have cut out. So I think that's a really positive potential there.
Yeah. So maybe an increase in access.
Yes.
That would be lovely to see.
Exactly.
Wondering if you could reassure those that are working in the legal field, not lawyers, but legal staff, that are feeling like, Craig just said that the AI receptionist is even better than me. Any way that we could kind of assuage their fears and tell them maybe that job isn't going to be the same, but there's something else that they could help with? I
don't foresee AI eliminating jobs, but I think what it is going to do is going to allow human staff to just handle higher volume of stuff, of cases. So I think it's going to I think it's simply going to require a rethinking of what we consider a caseload, a workload. So I think you just have to, I don't think you should be concerned about it, but I think you have to not be overly resistant to it. I think if you resist it and kind of hope that it's just going to be a passing thing, I think that's a mistake. So I think you should see it as a tool that you can use. And then that's one of the things that we talked about there. AI is not just a useful tool for the lawyers. In many ways, it's a huge useful tool for non-lawyer staff, because it can allow you to delegate the stuff that you have to do that maybe isn't all that fun, right? Maybe it's data entry, things like that. Maybe you don't really like talking to clients.
Yeah.
So I think they should see it as an opportunity to be able to spend more time doing the stuff that you really like to do and are good at doing, and less time doing the stuff that maybe you don't enjoy very much. So I think it has enormous potential for everyone. So I wouldn't be concerned about it. I think we need to embrace it with a certain level of reservation, if you will. But I think similar to how, the development of the car replaced horses
Yeah.
and put a lot of people that worked with horses, let's say, out of work. They found other things to do that just made everyone's lives better. So I think the same is going to be true with AI. That's my prediction.
Creative destruction.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my prediction. I mean, I think overall it's going to be a huge net improvement. I think it's going to make remote access, remote work even more accessible to people and give the people even more opportunities to have the kind of quality of life that you want, the flexibility that you want when you have family and traveling and stuff like that you want to do. I think this is only going to make that more possible.
Yeah. Is production levels staying the same or even increasing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any final points or tips that you wanted to share from this conference to our viewers and listeners out there?
I don't think so. I mean, I would be curious how people in other fields are seeing AI, and how do you see it as a tool, as a useful tool? Do you see it as a threat? Because I kind of get tunnel vision. I mean, I really think about this stuff from the standpoint of the work that I do for clients. How is it affecting whether it's medicine, farming, sales, things like that? I mean, it's affecting every different kind of field, I think, and probably affecting other fields much more than the practice of law. I'd be curious what other people are experiencing and how what's your kind of reaction to it, good, bad, or otherwise. I'm kind of an eternal optimist, so I try to see these
Me too.
as tools, as ways that we can make lives better for everyone. I have an abundance mindset. That's what
there it is.
I have an abundance mindset, and I think I try to live by that.
Yeah.
And I think that as a whole is going to be the case. So I hope people can adopt that and just try to lean into it and just kind of discern which things are good, which things are not necessarily good or not ready for showtime yet. Take it one day at a time, because that's literally how fast it changes.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah. So we will finish up this recording, and then we'll literally have AI edit this and make it take out all the ums and uhs and pauses and make this good. So whether you like it or not, AI is making your life better.
Yes. And our production better too.
Thank
See you
you,
next
everyone.
time. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.